Hey there again, this is Paul. I'm going to be doing another video about the obsequious behavior of the local churches, the AKA the Lord's Recovery Witness Lee's followers. I'm going to be reading some of what I've written down here, just so you know here. That's why I'm looking down. But what we're going to be getting into in this video is basically the Indoctrination Library of Witness Lee. We've already talked about how the local churches have their own version of the Bible with thousands of footnotes, almost all written by one man, Witness Lee. They have their own daily devotional, which is almost all Witness Lee. They have their own conferences and trainings held annually, which are almost all Witness Lee. Like I mentioned earlier, Witness Lee also has just hundreds of books. It's amazing the amount of content that he has, and most of the books from LSM were not written, written by Witness Lee, but rather they were taken from his spoken messages and written down by someone else. Remember how we also talked about how the local church members oftentimes will not be so upfront with what version of the Bible that they read. Oftentimes they'll bring other versions, more popular versions of the Bible, to Bible studies with new members so that they can basically hide who they are. Remember that? Well, they also do that with the voluminous amount of Witness Lee's books. Besides his own Bible and besides his daily devotional, he also has these many books that he has used to indoctrinate his followers. And so what we're going to be discussing here is how, basically, how the members treat Witness Lee's books, and how they are obsequious, and how they are sycophants, how they are obsessively attentive and servile to Witness Lee's teachings. Okay, so, when you go to a local church meeting or a home Bible study, which they call home meetings, the writings of Witness Lee will be brought out, either physically in book form or via printouts, or orally, just in whatever they've memorized from his writings. They will be speaking it and or reading it. And so, when a new prospective member comes to a Bible study or a church service, one of the first questions that they usually have, it's inevitable, is, why so much Witness Lee? Why so much Witness Lee? It's very abnormal. Especially when you go to the library of the local churches. Usually, almost every local church that I've been to, the library where they sell books and rent out books, it's almost all exclusively Witness Lee with some Watchman Nee. And then when you go to these people's homes for their home Bible studies, which is really what I want to talk about in this video, the vast majority of the content of their personal library at home is Witness Lee books and Watchman Nee books. And so when you see that in someone's home, it doesn't take a very mature Christian or someone with a lot of discernment to be able to realize that something is not quite right. Something is abnormal here. If you go to a local church Bible study that's in a home, and it's the home of an older person, and maybe you might see that their personal library has a lot of other books as well. And so what I want to say is, if you see a local church member who has a personal library where they have a lot of other books other than Witness Lee and Watchman Nee books, what I want to tell you is, do not be deceived. Do not be deceived into thinking that these people are balanced in their beliefs, that they're balanced in their reading, that they actually read a lot of other things, that they're not obsequious sycophants. No, do not be deceived. They are obsequious sycophants. They're trained to be so. They're trained to read Witness Lee every day of their lives. Oftentimes the other books, whether they're encyclopedias or other Christian books or whatever they are, oftentimes these other books in their library are pretty much just mantelpieces, just kind of sitting there. They look nice. A lot of times they're books that they've accumulated from their past before they were in the local churches, and they just saved them, and it looks nice in their library. But do not be deceived. the majority, the vast majority of what they are reading, I guarantee you, is Witness Lee and Watchman Nee. Actually, to go further on this point, I know members that will oftentimes purposefully, for others to see, purposefully put books by other authors, especially other Christian authors, in plain sight for new ones to see, so that they can be perceived as normal and balanced. No joke. That's what they do. They want to try to give off this perception that they are very balanced and that they're not obsequious. They're not cult members. They don't just listen to Witness Lee. They do take from other Christian authors and Christian writers. They do, but not really. It's a fault. It's a farce. It's phony. Don't buy into it. And then there are the other cult members of this group who are not quite as crafty, and maybe they're not as ashamed of their reading, and they'll just have nothing but Witness Lee and Watchman Nee there pretty much. So there are different kinds of members, but a lot of what's going on nowadays is people are trying, just like they hide their Bible version, they are hiding their own personal library, or they're trying to make it look as if they're balanced. And that's just not true. If you're a faithful member of the local churches, you are an obsequious sycophant, mainly reading Watchman Nee, being excessively attentive and servile to Witness Lee and Watchman Nee. And in the local church meetings, these people are all encouraged, really forced, to speak the same thing. The Bible says that we should all speak the same thing. What that means in their group is you really should only be speaking Witness Lee and Watchman Nee. And if you're not, then you're being different. You're being divisive. And you need to be perfected. You need to be corrected. So with this kind of system in place where they're all reading Watchman Nee and Witness Lee all the time, and that's pretty much all they're covering in their Bible studies and in their church meetings, it's really easy to see how one man like Witness Lee can have control, such strong control over a vast amount of people. So I do want you to understand that these are some of the deceptive, non-transparent, opaque tactics of these cult members as they try to appear normal. They try to hide what they really do and what they really believe until they gain your trust. Until they build up a friendship with you. Then slowly but surely, they'll start pulling out more and more writings from Witness Lee and Watchman Nee. And it is actually standard local church protocol nowadays. Not so much a few decades ago, but especially nowadays, and especially on the college campuses, it's really standard local church protocol to be non-transparent and to be opaque. To be not upfront, basically to be deceptive about who you are. And local church members are trained. They are actually trained to hold off on introducing new ones to Witness Lee's writings officially. They're told to hold off on giving people Witness Lee books until they gain their trust, so that they don't scare away the new ones. Because that's what happens a lot. Is new ones start seeing Witness Lee everywhere, and they get scared off. For obvious reasons, for good reasons. So once the new ones become comfortable with the local church members, then that's when they eventually start to bring out the material. And that's when they start their Bible studies will eventually turn into Witness Lee book studies. No joke. So they did it to me as a new one. This is how they tricked me. I had no idea until later on, until I had built up a lot of friendships and they had gained my trust. I'd gained their trust. So this is what they did to me, and this is what I was trained to do to others. So this is wrong. This is deceptive. And there are even a lot of people in the local churches who are against this tactic because they realize that it's dishonest and it's deceptive, but they do it anyway. So again, this is just more cult-like, obsequious, sycophantic behavior from Witness Lee's followers in the local churches. Thanks for watching. God bless.